Hello and a very good morning. You're watching the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television with me, Frank Pereira. Let's begin with this morning's headlines. 17 deaths due to dengue in Delhi. Civic authorities launch prosecution against MTNL, CPWD and a leading business house after mosquito breeding was found at their premises. BJP ally LJP to announce its list of candidates for Bihar polls after reaching a seat-sharing agreement. Jitan Ram Manjhi's HAMS also expected to release list. Prime Minister on a day-long visit to Varanasi. Narendra Modi to meet representatives of Shiksha Mitras to hear their grievances. And West Bengal government to declassify and make public 64 files related to the Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Let's begin the bulletin with the news from poll-bound Bihar. Now, in a significant development, the Samajwadi Party has decided to contest the Bihar Assembly elections as part of a third front. Now, the SP has joined hands with three other parties to be the alternative to the Grand Alliance and the NDA. Here's more.
Samajwadi Party will contest the Bihar Assembly polls with Samajwadi Janata Dal Democratic, NCP and the National People's Party. SP wants this combination to be the third alternative before the electorate after the NDA and the Grand Alliance.
ये फर्स्ट फेज के उम्मीदवारों की घोषणा कल पटना में कर देंगे और उसके 2 दिन बाद सेकंड फेज के उम्मीदवारों की घोषणा हो जाएगी। थर्ड, फोर्थ और फिफ्थ फेज की घोषणा एक साथ उससे कुछ दिनों बाद कर दी जाएगी।
विकास मुद्दा रहेगा, प्राथमिकता रहेगी बिहार के विकास का, बिहार के बिजली का, बिहार के किसान और मजदूरों का हितों का सवाल उठेगा। जो बिहार के नौजवान हैं, बेरोजगार हैं, जो शिक्षा का मामला है, जो खास करके कृषि उद्योग आधारित जो होना चाहिए उद्योग कृषि आधारित, इन सारे मामलों पर बाढ़ सुखाड़ वहाँ का मूल समस्या है। बिहार को एक नया विकल्प मिलेगा पहली बार।
The third front is yet to decide on its chief ministerial candidate, but it is sure of the reasons for leaving the Grand Alliance. Samajwadi Party says it was difficult to give up its identity by merging with the JDU-led alliance.
जब एक पार्टी बनने की बात आती है तो एक आदमी भी अगर अलग हो जाता है तो पार्टी के सिंबल और उस पर दिक्कत आती है और ये आना था। ये हमने पहले कहा था और आपने देख लिया कि वही नौबत आती तो आज न समाजवादी पार्टी होती, न कोई दल होता, न चुनाव चिन्ह होता हमारे पास।
The election in Bihar will essentially be a direct fight between the JDU-led Grand Alliance and the NDA. But with Samajwadi Party joining the fray separately, there are fears of a split in votes. Whether or not the BJP gains from it, it will surely dent the vote base of the JDU-RJD Congress combined. And in the battle of perception before the polls, the Grand Alliance seems to be the bigger loser. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha.
Well, NDA ally, the Lok Janshakti Party, will announce its list of candidates for the Bihar polls today. The party held a meeting yesterday to deliberate on the candidates for the Bihar Assembly polls. The parliamentary board of the party met and decided on candidates for 29 seats. The LJP is contesting 40 seats in all as part of the NDA. There have been reports that all is not well within the NDA, with the LJP saying that it was shocked at the seat-sharing pact that was arrived at after giving 20 seats to Jitan Ram Manjhi's party, HAMS. Joining me on the phone line right now is our correspondent Vishal Daya from Bihar. Vishal, over to you for the latest as far as poll-bound Bihar is concerned.
Well, a lot of activity happening out here, Frank, and the most important aspect for the political parties, specifically the two alliances, that's the one led by the BJP and the other Mahagathbandhan led by Nitish Kumar, the sitting chief minister, is the finalization of candidates on the respective seats, which partners of these alliances will be contesting. Interestingly, the nomination process has already begun. It has been 2 days, but then both alliances are yet to finalize their candidates on all the 49 seats, which will go to poll on 12th rather in 10 districts of Bihar. Now, if you look at the opposition camp, that's the NDA, alliance, they have finalized, the sheet sharing between the partners, though there have been a lot of hard won between, the smaller allies, the smaller partners of the BJP, that's RLSP, LJP, and HAM. But these parties are yet to announce their individual candidates on some of these seats. Also, on the other side, the Mahagathbandhan, the Grand Alliance, which is being led by Nitish Kumar, JDU's Nitish Kumar, that alliance also is yet to give give final names of its candidates on all these seats. Some of them are considered to be finalized, but then officially the names are yet to be announced. So this is that time, during this entire political battle in the poll-bound Bihar, wherein people, specifically the ticket seekers, are moving in from one party to another. There are some of them, some senior leaders within these parties are mixed with each other, because of not being given really important the finalization or selection of candidates. So this is likely to continue for a day or two, and then maybe by this weekend we will have final names on all the seats. Once that happens, the campaign will then be on its, on its high pitch.
All right, Vishal Dahiya, we'll have to leave it at that, but we'll keep coming back to you, of course, during the course of the week to try and get the latest from Bihar. Moving on now, while the political campaign reaches a feverish pitch in Bihar, what are the real issues plaguing the state? Nevada is one of the most backward areas in the state and is grappling with severe health crisis. Pranav Goswami brings us this ground report on what ails the place.
The state of medical affairs in one of the most backward districts in Bihar, Nevada, continues to be grim. There is only one government hospital in the district for a population of 20 lakh people who are mostly daily wage laborers. The hospital walls are plastered with lists of medicines provided free of cost by the state government. However, none of these medicines from the list are available at the counter. There are other primary health centers in the district, but no doctors or attendants available. Even toilets constructed for the patients have been locked.
दवाई नहीं है, जो बात है आप क्या कहें, वही सर दे दिया तो सर ले बाजार से लीजिए।
यहाँ ये है, जितना भी प्रभारी, जो भी डॉक्टर हैं, जो भी वरीय प्राधिकारी हैं, यहाँ सिर्फ साइन करना जानते हैं, मरीज को देखना नहीं जानते। सब सिस्टर पर ठेल देते हैं। सिस्टर क्या करेगी?
इस तरह लिखे कि दवा का नाम भी पता चलता है, फिर पूछने गए तो दूसरी मैडम बोलते हैं कि उस मैडम का नाम लिखा हुआ है, हमें नहीं पता चल रहा है। बाहर में दुकानदार भी नहीं पढ़ पा रहे हैं दवा का नाम।
Apart from the inadequate health facilities, Nevada also faces the twin problem of lack of education and employment. All the 5 assembly seats in the district were won by the JDU-BJP combined the last time around, but this time the former allies are pitted against one another. For a district that has got the wrong end of the stick, voting this time would probably be for the one who can walk the talk.
पुराने हॉस्पिटल हैं, लेकिन हमारी सरकार ने इसको पास किया है, एक बड़ा हॉस्पिटल बन रहा है। ये 500, 200 या 300 करोड़ का ये है, बहुत बड़ा पैमाने पर जमीन अलॉट हो गई है। ये जल्द ही मतलब कि इस पर काम लगने वाला है। सभी जगह रोडें पर मिल गई, बिजली के तारे पर बिछ रही हैं, ट्रांसफार्मर मिला है, सिंचाई की योजना मिल गई है, नलकूप मिला है। तो जो भी चीजें हैं विकास का, ये 10 साल में माननीय नेता मुख्यमंत्री जी ने दिया है क्षेत्र में।
The contest this time is fierce, with the NDA and the Secular Alliance pitted against one another. It remains to be seen whether the marginalized Nevada will find its feeble voice heard amidst this election hullabaloo. With inputs from Pranav Goswami, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Let's move on to the health crisis in the national capital now. Dengue has claimed 3 more lives in the national capital, taking the toll up to 17. Concerned over the rapid spread of the vector-borne disease, the Home Ministry reviewed the situation, while Delhi Health Minister also met 3 mayors. This came even as the Delhi High Court sought responses from the centre, the Delhi government and the civic bodies on the steps taken by them to check the dengue menace.
Hospitals overflowing with patients, struggling to cope with the rush. The story is the same in all hospitals across the national capital. The situation is dire, to say the least, with the number of people infected with dengue reaching 2,000. A 27-year-old CRPF official succumbed to dengue after undergoing treatment for a few days. 2 girl victims aged 3 and 9 took the death toll to 17, making it the worst outbreak in Delhi in 5 years. The Home Ministry expressed concern over the crisis of hospital beds and directed the Delhi government to take urgent steps to remedy matters. The Delhi Health Minister also met the 3 zone MCD commissioners to discuss the steps being taken to stop the spread of the disease.
दिल्ली सरकार उस पर पूरा मेरे ख्याल से काम कर रहे हैं, लेकिन और तेजी से करने का आवश्यकता है। केंद्र सरकार की ओर से तो हेल्थ मिनिस्ट्री इन्वॉल्व है और हम लोग गृह मंत्रालय का यहाँ से भी हम लोग देख रहे हैं कि कोई आवश्यकता अगर कार्रवाई हमारे ओर से होगा तो जरूर करेंगे।
मॉनिटरिंग के लिए सारी टीम्स बनाई हैं, स्ट्रिक्ट ऑर्डर्स हैं सबको कि जितने भी यहाँ से डायरेक्शंस गए हैं उनको ठीक से पालन कराएं और हमारे डीएम्स और एसडीएम्स सुबह और शाम पूरे इलाकों में घूम घूम के देखेंगे कि फॉगिंग हो रही है कि नहीं हो रही है।
तीनों मेयर्स के साथ मिलकर डेंगू से कैसे लड़ा जाए और एक साथ मिलकर दिल्ली सरकार और तीनों कॉर्पोरेशन मिलके हमारा निश्चय हुआ है कि एक साथ मिलके इसको पूरी तरह से लड़ा जाएगा।
Civic authorities also launched prosecution against MTNL, CPWD and a leading business house after mosquito breeding was found at their premises. The developments come after the High Court asked the centre, the state government and civic bodies to explain what is being done to check the crisis.
Municipal corporations of Delhi, NDMC, दिल्ली सरकार और केंद्र सरकार सभी को नोटिस जारी किया है और ये कहा है कि वो स्टेटस रिपोर्ट फाइल करें कि वो डेंगू की रोकथाम के लिए क्या-क्या कदम उठाए गए हैं और क्या-क्या कदम उठाए जा रहे हैं।
The Delhi government has asked private hospitals to increase the number of beds and hire more staff. Private hospitals have also been asked not to charge more than 600 rupees for the dengue test. However, the opposition alleges failure of the state and the centre in checking the spread of the disease.
हमारा ये कहना है कि जब डेंगू और मलेरिया से लड़ने के लिए जो पैसा है वो पैसा अगर खर्च नहीं करा जाएगा, वो पैसा अगर नहीं दिया जाएगा इस वक्त जिस वक्त सबसे ज्यादा जरूरत है, तो फिर उस पैसे को कब यूज किया जाएगा।
The Indian Medical Association has said the current virus type is less fatal compared to the one prevalent in 2013. It has also appealed to people not to panic or demand hospital admission unless urgent. Authorities claim this is not an outbreak, even as the upsurge in the disease has left Delhi shaken. With inputs from Navvikram Singh, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
It's time for a short break now, but still to come. Vice President Hamid Ansari to meet Laos leadership today. We'll tell you all about it and much more on the other side. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Today we bring to you the Waqf Properties Eviction of Unauthorized Occupants Bill 2014.
All the persons are occupying the Waqf properties and the Waqf board was not taking any action.
The whole purpose is going to be defeated if this new provision regarding limitation or regarding the applicability of the provisions with retrospective effect is not inserted.
Watch Law of the Land Saturday at 6:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha television. Get live Rajya Sabha session. News, views, reports and analysis you can trust on social media. Subscribe, follow, like Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha television. Well, India wants to build a solid relationship with ASEAN countries and is looking to actively build linkages with them. Vice President Hamid Ansari began his 2-day Laos visit on this note. He was accorded the Guard of Honor a short while ago. The delegation-level talks between both countries is underway. Later in the day, the Vice President will hold talks with his Laotian counterpart Bonhang Worachit and also call on President Chomali Sayasone. A one-on-one meeting with the Laotian President, or rather Prime Minister, I beg your pardon, Tongsin Thamawong, is also scheduled. Both countries are expected to sign 2 MOUs on electrification and irrigation schemes. This is the first visit to Laos by an Indian Vice President and also the first high-level visit after the trip by former President Pratibha Patil in 2010. Well, joining me on the phone line from Laos right now, correspondent Nilu Vyas. Nilu, what's on the agenda as far as the Vice President's visit to Laos today is concerned?
Frank, as we speak right now, the delegation level talks are going on between the various delegates from both the sides, and basically the focus would be to deepen the bilateral ties. The contours are really being worked out, especially as far as the trade links are concerned, which is a significant part of India's Act East policy. Now remember, another very sticky issue which has to be discussed in these meetings is how to strengthen the commercial ties, because the extended India credit line to Laos CDR has been of $165 million, which includes things like transmission lines, equipment for rural electrification, hydropower projects. A lot of these things are being worked around, but the total trade, which is to the volume of about $89.2 million, even Vice President Hamid Ansari yesterday mentioned in his evening reception function to all the people who were present there that this is really not reflective of India's potential. So as far as the commercial ties are concerned, as far as deepening the bilateral relations is concerned, basically the delegation level talks, which are on right now, are going to work out the contours in this direction.
Nilu, we saw in Cambodia that a couple of very crucial MOUs were signed between the two countries, India and Cambodia, focusing a lot on tourism as well. Between India and Laos as well, there are a few MOUs that are likely to be signed. Now, what are these MOUs that are likely to be signed, and what is the focus really going to be on?
Like in Cambodia, you saw that there were the MOUs which were signed were related to tourism, infrastructure. So I think the sketch would be almost similar to what is going to happen here as well. But the picture is not very clear as to what exactly would be the details of the MOU. But we are being told right now that a few MOUs will be signed. But the details have not trickled to us so far, because the delegation level talks are on right now. And thereafter, the MOUs will be signed. But a rough idea which the MA officials and the people from the Laotian leadership they have given us is that the MOUs basically would be related to the quick impact projects, which could be related to infrastructure to ultimately deepen the bilateral ties and the economic ties.
Indeed. All right, Nilu Vyas, we'll have to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining us there with those details from Laos. Moving on now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will undertake a day-long tour of his Lok Sabha constituency, Varanasi, today. This will be his third visit to his constituency since last May. During his visit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will meet representatives of Shiksha Mitras or the contractual teachers and address their grievances. The Prime Minister will distribute e-rickshaws and tricycles under the Jan Dhan Yojana to more than 600 people. Modi will also lay the foundation stone for a ring road project for the city before addressing a public rally. The Prime Minister is also likely to launch important schemes relating to power and road sectors and inaugurate a trauma center inside Banaras Hindu University premises. Tight security arrangements are in place in view of the Prime Minister's visit. Well, 64 files of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose that have been in the possession of the West Bengal Home Department will be declassified and made public by the state today. The decision to make the files public has been welcomed by the Bose family, but they are now demanding that Netaji's files that are in the centre's possession should also be made public so that the truth behind the death comes to light.
64 files on Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose that's in possession of the West Bengal Home Department will be declassified and put in public domain today. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee said that the decision was taken since there has been a long-standing demand for it and people in Bengal have the right to know what happened to Bose.
আমরা একটা বড় সিদ্ধান্ত আজকে নিতে যাচ্ছি, সেটা হচ্ছে আমরা ঠিক করেছি আমাদের যত ফাইল আছে আমাদের কাছে নেতাজি সুভাষচন্দ্র বোস সংক্রান্ত, কিছু ফাইল মুখার্জি কমিশন চেয়েছিল, সিক্রেটলি আমরা দেখিয়েছিলাম, বাট পরে আবার নিয়ে আসা হয়েছিল।
The decision was welcomed by Bose's relatives. They now demand that the centre also make public files that are in its possession.
Unitedly and with much more vigour to Delhi, where we will be demanding from the central government to declassify the more than 130 files which are in the different ministries of the West Bengal government.
Recently, some files relating to Bose, declassified by the central government, had revealed that the Ministry of Home Affairs had snooped on at least 2 of Netaji's nephews. The files revealed that the Intelligence Bureau had kept the relatives of Netaji under close surveillance between 1948 and 1968, when Jawaharlal Nehru was the Prime Minister. The family members of Netaji met Prime Minister Narendra Modi and urged him to declassify all Netaji files. The Prime Minister's office had told the Central Information Commission that it cannot declassify files as it will adversely affect relations with foreign countries.
There are certain files which the center government is also looking at it, and it relates to certain countries where therefore there is an international relationship which comes up, but there's a dialogue with the other countries of the world like Germany, Russia and China and all, UK. So let's see what comes out of it.
The files could put an end to the mystery that has long shrouded the death of Netaji. Bose is believed to have died in an air crash in Taiwan on August 18, 1945, 3 days after Japan's surrender to the Allied forces. But his death is surrounded in mystery, many historians even arguing that the accident was staged. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Here's a look now at what else is expected through the course of the day in our segment, The Day Ahead. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley will deliver the keynote address at the Singapore Summit on India, a heaven of opportunity in global challenging times today. Jaitley will deliberate on tensions in global economics, implications of the sharp drop in energy prices and the need for new business models in a global Asia business landscape. Jaitley is on a 4-day visit to Singapore and Hong Kong to woo investors and address investor meets. A POSCO court in Uttar Pradesh will pronounce its verdict in the May 2014 Badaयूं murder case of 2 cousin sisters today. The final arguments of the CBI and petitioner counsels will be completed on, or rather were completed on Monday. On the direction of the Allahabad High Court, the CBI had in August provided copies of all documentary evidence to the kin of the 2 sisters whose bodies were found hanging from a tree. The final Shahi Snan of the Nashik Kumbh Mela will take place today. The traffic and security arrangements have been relaxed considerably as the police are anticipating fewer crowds today because of the 10-day-long Ganesha festival. The first and second Shahi Snan days saw around 20 lakhs and 60 lakh pilgrims respectively. Let's move on to our top international focus now. The migrant crisis in Europe is taking a new turn on a daily basis. Hungary's closure of the border with Serbia has shifted pressure on smaller countries like Croatia, Slovenia and Romania. In a bid to find alternate routes to enter Germany, thousands of migrants are now entering these smaller countries. In just 2 days, as many as 11,000 refugees have poured into Croatia after Hungary closed its border, blocking the previous route to the EU. The Croatian government has said it cannot stop migrants who wish to move on to Western Europe. But Slovenia says that it can't take in migrants and will return those entering from Croatia. Like Hungary, Slovenia is within the borderless Schengen zone, according to which migrants can seek asylum in the first country that they enter in. But the poorer countries refuse to abide by the Schengen agreement and the mandatory quota system as proposed by the European Commission. With the crisis escalating each day, the EU has called for an emergency meeting on the 23rd of September. Here's a look now at some of the other international news in our segment World Wrap. The death toll in the powerful 8.3 magnitude quake in Chile has risen to 11. Nearly 1 million people have been forced to leave their homes in the wake of a tsunami alert. A state of emergency has been declared in the central region. The port city of Coquimbo has been the worst hit as waves of up to 4.5 meters slammed into the shore due to the quake. Large fishing boats washed up onto the streets of Coquimbo, while several other vessels splintered, littering the bay with debris. The damage to property is estimated to be in billions. Close to 90,000 homes remain without electricity. Presidential Guard officers in Burkina Faso have seized power in a coup just days before the general elections. The Guards detained interim President Michel Kofando and other government ministers during the raid in the capital. Hours after their detention, an unidentified military official took to the airwaves and announced the coup. According to local media reports, a close ally of former President Blaise Compaoré has been named the country's new leader. The largest U.S. automaker, General Motors, will pay the U.S. Justice Department $900 million to settle criminal charges. The company has admitted that it hid a lethal defect in its vehicle ignition switches that led to 124 deaths. The settlement was announced on Thursday by the U.S. Attorney's Office, capping a 2-year probe that tainted the company's reputation. The company also agreed to a partial settlement of private litigation with drivers, passengers and families over the switches and a settlement of related shareholder litigation. Stunning images of Pluto taken by NASA's New Horizons spacecraft were released on Thursday. Taken in July, the images show a near-sunset view of the icy mountains and flat ice plains on the distant planet. A low-lying haze clinging to the surface of Pluto has also been captured in the images. Scientists say that the haze provides further evidence of the equivalent on Pluto of Earth's water cycle, but involving exotic types of ice. The photographs were taken from a distance of 11,000 miles. Moving on to some sports-related news now. BCCI President Jagmohan Dalmia suffered a heart attack late on Thursday night and was subsequently rushed to BM Birla Heart Research Centre in Kolkata. The 75-year-old veteran cricket administrator has been physically indisposed for quite some time with a lot of ailments and was not actively taking part in BCCI's day-to-day activities. It has been quite some time since Dalmia has been able to properly conduct any BCCI meetings. Earlier too, Dalmia could not coherently answer any question when he met the 3-member SC-appointed panel headed by Justice R.M. Lodha, where his son was prompting all the questions to him. There have been dissenting voices in the BCCI about his failing health, and recently there were calls to remove him from the post. In some more sports news now, India's Ajay Jairam advanced to the quarterfinals while PV Sindhu's campaign ended as she was knocked out of the Korea Open Super Series badminton tournament in Seoul. Indian shuttler Ajay Jairam emerged as the lone survivor after he defeated Hong Kong's Wong Wing Ki Vincent in the second round of the men's singles event. Dutch Open winner Jairam prevailed over world number 30 Vincent 17-21, 21-15, 21-15. The world number 32 Jairam will next take on Japan's Sho Sasaki today. Earlier, it was curtains for 2-time bronze medalist at the World Championship Sindhu as she went down 16-21, 13-21 to Japan's Sayaka Takahashi in the women's singles. Well, there's some information that's coming now, of course, where Geo News is reporting that 3 terrorists have been killed after an attack on Pakistan Air Force base in Vadodara area. As per initial information, 7 to 10 terrorists tried to break deep into the base. Terrorists were engaged and contained around the guardroom area. Brigade commander is leading the operation of being conducted by the Quick Response Force and Army commandos to clear the base of terrorists. PF sources have clarified that the base is in operation and it is a residential area. They also added that all the assets are safe. Well, this is the latest information, of course, that's coming through from Pakistan, where Pakistan's news channel Geo News is reporting that there has been a terrorist attack on a Pakistan Air Force base. The Pakistani Air Force officials, of course, have come out and said that all the assets are safe. And in fact, the operation is being led by one of a team led by the Response Force and Army commandos. Of course, these visuals coming to you from Pakistan right now, courtesy Geo News. Well, we'll keep you updated about that particular story and much more, of course. But with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the Bulletin. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.